The only thing that stays the same is that things are going to change. Let's talk about it. Everybody, this is Sensei Anthony, and welcome to the Real Karate Podcast, where we discuss all things real about the martial arts, training, philosophy, style, whatever. Now, let's talk about changing, okay? Some of the biggest reasons that people don't change and improve boil down to two things. First is it's always been done this way, and the second is it's never been done this way before. Those two sentences have kept humanity as a whole from progressing at a speed faster than what it currently has. Now, as this pertains to martial arts, there are some people who do things the way their teacher taught them because it was the way their teacher taught them all the way back to the founder. Not thinking about the fact that times are different. When you see in old school karate classes where they don't pivot on their punches, well, there's a few reasons for that. One, they were probably fighting barefoot because back then there were no closed-toed shoes. You couldn't go on down to the mise, the shop, and grab yourself a pair of closed-toed tennis shoes. Didn't exist. The second is they did not have the advantage of fighting on concrete, fighting on wet grass or on wet land, or fighting on cobblestone streets. That contributes to the need for balance, the way to keep your hips underneath you, to be able to drive a punch from the shoulders. That requires a certain kind of stability, which you cannot get by pivoting. So they didn't. Times have changed, people have changed, your training should change. When I first opened this dojo, I thought about putting across the front door traditional values, modern techniques. And actually, I might still do that. But the idea and the important thing to remember is it's okay to change. You should change. If you're not changing anything, that means you're not thinking about your art in a progressive and realistic way. The concept of cars have not changed, but there is a huge difference between a Model T and a Lamborghini, right? When you're training, you have to think about, will this technique against a person much bigger, much stronger, much taller than I am, which in my mind is how you should pressure test your techniques. And you have to consider, if one person is 6 feet tall, 5'5", will these techniques work the same way? No, then change them to fit the person. Remember, the art should change to fit the person. You don't try to change the person to fit the art. So change is going to happen. The only difference is whether you benefit from those change or do you end up teaching a less effective version of your art because you refuse to change. Change can be good. Change should be a part of your mental curriculum as you're teaching and as you're participating in martial arts. So I hope that helps. Train hard, stay safe, and the most important thing always is to please be kind to yourselves and each other. I'll see you soon.